doing? My name is Darwin, and I'm doing one causes poverty in the United States. First of all, what is poverty? Poverty means the lack of material possession or money. So basically, like, they have a place to live, but they don't have like no money to buy the necessary like food they need. Absolute poverty means the lack of basic human needs such as fresh, clean water, the right nutrition, healthcare, education, clothing, and shelter. Who is considered to be in poverty? So basically, like, if you only live by yourself, if you make less than $10,830, you're considered to be in poverty, and so on. I found this interesting because
How come phones keep going off that aren't supposed to be on?
Newark has been rated one of the number 10 highest city with poverty rate since like 1956.
Wow.
It's maintained that status.
Miami?
Well, that's
That's
a claim to
1956.
fame.
So they stay in the same position, never went up or down. This was a survey done like by Harvard, and they were asked like if they consider that a minor cause of poverty or like no cause of poverty. So basically, they thought the drug abuse was like one of the major causes of poverty. Then following medical bills, one of the lowest one was shortage of jobs, and the rest is right there. This is like from 1959 to 2010, like how the poverty level went up or down. As you can see, in the past 5 years, the poverty level has been going up, and now since 2010, the number of people in poverty are 46.2 million people, which is 15.1% of the population of the United States. One of the causes can be said as education. The highest percent of dropout is people without high school diplomas, so basically people dropped out of finish high school. And the lowest are college graduates, which are easy to find a job, so they have lower poverty level. Another one can be said as race. Well, blacks have, since like racism was a big deal before, so blacks and Hispanics have the highest poverty level, and it seems to maintain that way because like people, even though like the laws have been passed for equality, they still rather offer jobs to white people rather than blacks or Hispanics. So they still have the high poverty levels. There seems to be a connection also by age. So like people under 18 like don't know how to like spend their money wisely. They spend it like whatever they don't need. And it has a high poverty level. While like seniors used to have the highest ones by the 1960s. Because like they receive more help, medical help. They were trying to maintain like below 50% of poverty level. And 18 to 24 have the lowest because they're like the teenagers wising up, look for jobs and notice what they need. So they spend their money wisely. Single family homes is another cause. There seems to be single moms with kids under 18 have a high poverty level because like they make less money working. It's hard for them to find jobs because they have to take their kids to school or anything to take care of kids, so they can't live alone, so they have a poverty level. For married couples, have the lowest poverty level, which maintain below 10%, because either the father or the mother work, and the other one stays with the kids, so they maintain a poverty level not that high. And this is a big one, right in the second area. It seems like in the suburbs, they have like the lowest poverty levels, while in the central cities, they have the highest and still increasing. This is because like all the poor people go to the big cities, because it seems like they find it easier like to stay alive, looking for like shelter, like in little boxes in the middle of the streets and alleys, and if they find food in the garbage and everything. Well, even though like in the past like 4 years, everything has been increasing, like poverty levels, cities, suburbs, and everything, except like rural small towns, which seems to maintain the same. Other causes include like the welfare system, like so many people, like Rich says, welfare, you work hard so they don't have to. So people are like depending so much on welfare, like they don't go back to work, so so welfare system gives them money, they don't have to do anything, just stay home while other people have to work. Drug and alcohol abuse, people like work like once a day, use all the money like to buy alcohol or drugs, they got so addicted to it, so like they all depend on that. Medical bills, So like hospital bills have been increasing, and like so many people need like go to the doctor even though they don't need it and they don't have money to pay afterwards. Jobs, there's so many more part-time jobs and no minimum wages, so like people like that need jobs go to those jobs but they don't make enough money to like get out of poverty, so they maintain poverty. Shorter jobs, like since like technology has been increasing, the assembly lines like take the jobs from like the factory workers and everything. Also, public schools has been a big one, because like so many kids don't get the right education. So like people drop out or anything, and like they don't have the right materials to like continue to like give their kids a good education. This is some assistance the government's been helping. Although like the poverty rate has still been increasing regardless with the government help or without, it seems like with the assistance the poverty levels have been increasing like less dramatically. So like only at 6% have increased in the past 3 years. You can see with assistance including 6 separate initiatives, while it increased like 4% with no government assistance at all. And that is it. Any questions?
So you can say that poverty is like a cycle, because if you don't go to school, you don't get a good job, you don't get a good job, you get a welfare system, you get a welfare system, you don't better yourself, so.
Basically, yeah, it's like a cycle that never ends. Any other questions? Good.